Is it just me, or are a lot of creators disappearing? A lot of popular podcasts are ending, creators are going MIA, and even people who used to post on the daily have gone a little bit silent. And it's honestly not that hard to see why people are walking away. They're not just tired, they're being bullied by the audiences who claimed to love them so much. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel where we talk all about self-improvement, self-reflection. And you're probably thinking like, girl, how the fuck does this have to do with self-improvement and self-reflection? A lot, okay? We're going to be reflecting on how we are navigating the online space. So this episode or this segment is sponsored by, no, I'm just kidding. I fucking wish. But it was inspired by, the canceled podcast ending. I used to love the podcast. Actually, I'm not even used to, because like I always did love that podcast, and it was kind of shocking to see that podcast ended. And then a podcast I used to listen to was Suburb Talks as well. I hadn't listened to them in a long time, but they recently ended their podcast ? I don't know if they ended it or they're just like thinking about taking a break or whatever it is, but there's just so many podcasts and so many different creators who are just taking a step back from posting. And you see in the comment sections, like on those particular videos, when they announce that they're ending, that it's coming to a close or whatever, that they're taking a break from social media, or even when creators just stop posting without announcing anything, their followers will come back and be like, I miss you, I hope you're doing well, I don't know what to do without you, I don't know what to do without this podcast, I've been watching this podcast for forever. But then if you take a look at the other comment sections of the same podcast or same creator, whatever it is, but just like different videos, it's a lot of criticism. Dare I say bullying and harassment. People are just being really messy and very mean. And let's not even talk about Reddit, because that's a whole other thing. Like, people are so ruthless, and it's kind of crazy because for years creators have been told to be authentic, share everything, be yourself, people will gravitate towards you. And so they ate this shit up and they started sharing their opinions. They started sharing about their relationships. They started even being transparent about their mistakes. And that authenticity became a double-edged sword, because the moment you share one thing online, it's like everybody becomes entitled or thinks that they're entitled to your life. These creators were kind of blindsided, because even what was like working at first, where they were just being silly, maybe sharing their hot takes or whatever. And especially like in a podcast, I mean, I'm pretty sure by this point I've also said some things that maybe I don't agree with anymore, that maybe I've outgrown, or that maybe in that day, hey, I was just on one, and especially I'm a little bit safer because I don't have like a co-host. I don't have anybody where we're just kind of talking and things can be said that you don't really mean. But that might have worked in the early stages of their channels, of their careers, and now that maybe their viewership has grown, it's not so hot anymore. People are now pushing more for accountability, and you need to do your research, and oh my god, you have a platform and you need it. But yes, by all means, should you be talking out of your ass when you come on here and post a video? No, I think you should be responsible or somewhat responsible for the content that you post, because you could be like promoting a lot of things, and some of those things could be like the extremely incorrect rhetoric or just harmful to society. And so yes, we do have to be careful with like what we share online. But there's even just like creators who are just purely there for entertainment, and they're still being dragged. Somewhere along the way, this accountability turned into shame and punishment. I mean, creators aren't just getting called out anymore. They're getting harassed, they're getting doxxed, they're getting threatened. It's no longer like, hey, I disagree with you because of this. Or, hey, maybe you should look into this because I think you may be wrong here. It's, you should fucking die. You're so stupid and you should die. And please never post online ever again. You're cancer. You're straight up cancer. That is cruel. Cruelty disguised as moral justice. And I understand why cancel culture started. It started like with the Me Too movement, where, you know, celebrities, they were just getting away with way too much. And they still are, okay? You know, people were being harassed, sexually exploited. People were just being really fucked up and really messy, and people were just like, we need to do something, we need to, oh, cancel culture, right? Let's cancel this person. And it became a way to hold very important public figures accountable for their actions when traditional systems just weren't. It helped us expose real harm, because yes, who wants to support a rapist? Who wants to support a predator? Nobody, right? But then as social media evolved, so did cancel culture, because we definitely brought this shit into like social media, you know? Dare I say, the algorithm gave a new definition to cancel culture. Cancel culture became a means for virality. This made outrage become a currency, because when you posted about an influencer and, oh my God, they are so wrong and they are so messy and they are so mean, and you get the conversation going in the comments section, and now it becomes a chain reaction because somebody sees, oh my God, that video of this random person critiquing an influencer, a well-known figure, went super viral for them. Oh my God, let me do the same. Oh my God, my video went super viral. It's like a chain reaction. And then now there's like whole ass pages of just exposing influencers, exposing the tea, even just like videos that are clipped, especially from these streamers, where it's just like a random video, and then with the caption, it's just like something disgusting that this influencer did, and it's just like clearly like a clickbait caption or title. It's giving, you know, like those magazine covers from like the early or the 2010s, where it would just be like these dramatic as titles on the magazines that weren't even like half the story. I remember like seeing these headlines, and I would go and I would pick up the magazine, and I'm like, oh my God, let me flip to the interview where this person said this because it was so outrageous, and I would read the whole section, and it's just like not at all what the person said. Those random TikTok accounts that just focus on like clipping people's streams or people's videos, it's giving that. And so what was once a movement for like cultural justice turned into a spectacle for entertainment. It's not about growth anymore. It's not about holding people accountable. It's literally about punishing and tearing people down and trying to end full-blown careers. And even now, creators who make small and just very human mistakes are villainized. Like, the internet has no grace for creators. And, you know, this is coming from somebody who is not like, I don't have a big following. I've never really received like a big critique or anything, but I do empathize with some of these creators that are really out there, that are really big, because it's just like they breathe a little different, and oh my God, blah, blah, blah. It's just bombarded with a lot of just negative comments, and from people who claim to like support them. I've gone on like Reddit sections of some of my favorite creators as well, and these people are getting dragged, and it's just, sometimes it doesn't even make any sense. We don't know these people, and it's like, damn, look in the mirror, because I'm sure like I've been a shit person many times in my life. I'm sure you have too. Everybody has been a shitty human being. It's part of the human experience, okay? Nobody is perfect. So the fact that we are expecting these influencers to be, you know, like perfect is just outrageous. And it's really, really hard, because I think even like with celebrities, right? Celebrities, okay, they star in films. They don't really have a chance to like be themselves, be their problematic selves, unless like the paparazzi follows them, or unless they go on an interview, or they present an award and they're fucking drunk or whatever it is. Then that becomes like the scandal, right? But no, these influencers, like, they make their money from recording and posting, and they post multiple times a week. I mean, with the streamers, it's even more outrageous. Like, and you don't think they're gonna slip up? Yeah, They're going to slip up, but it doesn't mean that they are shitty human beings. If you had a camera on you 24/7 or for like an hour a week even, chances are, yeah, you're gonna slip up too. It's just like we have the privilege that we slip up, and we can slip up in private. These people can't. And it's just very, very sad to see them getting dragged for super small mistakes. And so we have to ask ourselves, has cancel culture just gone too far? I've seen people getting death threats for a hot take, a bad take, full-blown death threats. People are threatening their families who have nothing to do with like anything. How is that holding people accountable? When somebody's mental health completely collapses because of the amount of hate that they're receiving, I mean, we have to think about even just like how many celebrities in the early 2000s went low-key like a little bit insane because the tabloids and the magazines were just like too much for them, because everybody was putting this amount of pressure on them. And like, we don't think that bashing on someone's comment section in every single video they post, or making a whole Reddit thread about how this person is just like the bottom of the barrel, you don't think that like fucks somebody up? Like, at what point do we admit that this isn't progress, that this isn't the way that we as a society should be moving? And it just sucks because people are exhausted. Like, not even just the creators. The creators, yeah, of course they're exhausted. How could they not be? But I think even just like the normal people, the average people like me and you, and I say me and you too, babe, because I'm a very small creator, okay? Like, my comment section's crickets. So I don't have to deal with this shit. But that's what I'm saying. Like, me and you, I know I'm tired of it. Like, damn, I just want to go through a comment section and not be like emotionally drained, not be outraged, not be like, oh my God, I have to think about this, and oh my God, like, it's just too much. Like, social media used to be lighthearted and fun and hee hee ha ha, and now it's like, damn. The internet is just a place where everyone has become too afraid to slip up, to say something wrong. I think more and more we are seeing just very surface level content, very performative content, very surface level interactions online, and we're just lacking those real conversations. We're lacking that community building because we're just so scared to show or to share our own opinions because, oh my God, then we're going to get canceled. And it also just worries me thinking about like Gen Alpha, who is coming of age in this environment. I look at my younger nieces and nephews, and I think I'm still like when I was in high school and I was like coming of age, there was no TikTok. The closest thing to TikTok we had was Instagram. And Instagram, I think, was a little bit more local. This was before the feed became like something super crazy, like TikTok's algorithm where you could see people you don't even follow. No, it was very much so like you followed someone, that's who you saw on your feed. So there was a lot less judgment on social media. I think even back then, the comment sections of the most like unlocal or the most global thing we had was YouTube, and the comment sections of the YouTube videos were actually quite nice. They were very friendly. We had like Tumblr where we could go into like these sub niches or groups of people and just talk. We had like, it was just more of like cultural. It felt more like a community, like a lot of mini communities. And now Gen Alpha is growing up and they are inheriting a version of the internet that isn't so nice, that isn't about freedom. It's led by fear and driven by fear. They've grown up watching creators be destroyed over minuscule mistakes, and sometimes not so small, okay? Don't want to just say all cancellations are bad or whatever, but I think it has to like mess them up and mess up the way that they feel they are allowed to show up in this world. I think they're learning to censor themselves because they know that the world will censor them. They're doing this before they even have a real voice. And I think that's very sad because the internet is supposed to be a place where ideas can expand and where we can learn from each other's perspectives, where we can grow as individuals, not where we go to be censored and to kill our own thoughts and ideas and things that just make us unique. But I think if we want to change things, we have to relearn how we listen to others. We have to be able to hear opinions that we don't necessarily agree on without turning it into a war and trying to destroy the other person for thinking this way and trying to change a person's mind right off the bat. I think we have to learn that disagreement doesn't equal immediate danger. A lot of people, and I know that the internet, it's like kind of like it feels like there's a line, right? There's a line split down the middle and people are either far over here. And yes, I'm talking about politics, but also about everything else. Everybody just seems so divided. But when you talk to people, when you really talk to people in the real life outside of the internet, right? You learn that everybody kind of wants the same thing, kind of, right? Yeah, you're gonna have those outliers that are a little bit crazy, that are the loudest people, that are going super viral, that have millions and hundreds of millions of followers. You are going to have those outliers, but the average person just wants like the same thing. The average person kind of feels the same way about different issues. They're a lot closer to the middle line. When somebody doesn't agree with you, it doesn't necessarily mean that they hate you, that they're out to get you, that they hate, it doesn't have to mean that. And honestly, not every flawed opinion or not every hot take deserves a full-blown cancellation. Sometimes it just deserves a conversation and a moment of learning, and understanding where people are coming from or why people think a certain way is the only way that we are going to able to learn from one another, grow with each other, and explore different perspectives. And so how do we fix this? I think it's gonna be very hard, but not impossible. If we stop rewarding outrage with our attention, if we stop commenting like angry things online, or like feeding this very divided rhetoric, I think it would help out a lot. Again, you can't control everybody's actions, but you can only control your own. So if this is a topic that you are passionate about, if you agree with me on these takes or even some of these takes, and you're like, yeah, you know what, you're right, I'm tired of not being able to just like say what I gotta say online without being flooded and bombarded and attacked with hate comments, then this is a perfect place to start. Just stop spreading the negativity. If somebody comments something at you, something hurtful, de-escalate the situation. Don't try to make it worse, because I think when people become more aware of the fact that, hey, we are all human and we all want a fun space, lighthearted space, maybe, I think that can lead to change. And obviously it's going to take a really, really long time, because we're a little lost right now, but I think it is possible. We also need to stop sharing so much hatred. I think it's so easy when you feel so strongly about something to want to be loud about it and be like, hey, what, but it does more harm than good. Chances are like everybody else is seeing this too. And that's something that I had to do some reflection on, because in the past I would share a lot of like my opinions and just things that were very maybe it was like a very divided subject, and everybody was seeing the same thing. We were all seeing what was going on in the world. We all see enough of that type of content. Truly reposting that and spreading hateful messages about the other groups of people, it doesn't really do anything. There are better ways to go about spreading your passion about something. If you're super passionate about something, go volunteer for nonprofits, go join a club, but don't just start spreading hateful rhetoric online, because I don't think it does any good. I don't think you're going to convince people with what you share, what you repost or whatever. If you want to make a change, I think the best way to go about that is by connecting to people face to face, having a civil discussion with anybody who's open to it. But I don't think it's going to come from reposting online, especially when it's smaller subjects too. I think there are places where, yeah, you want to be loud about something because you see a movement happening or whatever. But I think for most of the times, like, it's giving performative activism. I think also when somebody messes up, we have to ask ourselves, is this like cancellation that's happening? Is this actually meant to like teach a valuable lesson to the person being affected, or are people just trying to take this person down? Because if it's the latter, then why interact? Why make it worse? Why comment the hate posts and yes, repost that this person did this and add to the drama? It's just so unnecessary. We have to recognize when people are just trying to be mean. People are just trying to be straight up bullies and being way too entitled to somebody else's life, to this stranger's life, okay? Because yes, influencers do put themselves out there, but it doesn't mean that they also signed up for a lot of hate and a lot of hateful things. Like, I don't think creators need to be perfect to deserve peace, because newsflash, babe, nobody is perfect. Everybody comes with their own baggage. Everybody comes with their own hot takes. Everybody is slightly uneducated in various different topics. And if we just show a little bit more grace to other people, we're going to receive that grace back when it comes to our moment to be like slipping up in the spotlight, you know? And I think we also need to remember that we don't need to constantly be angry to feel powerful. Because I think it comes down to this too, where people just think that by being super angry and just being super, super loud about a hateful message, it will give them a voice. And that's not true. You don't need to be super loud and super polarizing to have a voice and for people to take you seriously. So yeah, I think it is really disheartening to see a lot of creators who have been posting for a very long time kind of be retiring or to end certain chapters in their careers. But I think maybe this is a sign that we need to start rejecting what the internet has become. Because if we can't learn to disagree with someone while still showing compassion and kindness to them, I think we're going to keep losing the very voices that make this space worth listening to in the first place. Like, I mean, just think about if everybody online was super politically correct all the time and super educated about everything and everybody just had the same take, it would get very boring very quickly. But yeah, other than that, that was all that I had for you guys today. If you guys enjoyed this little segment, do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe because it helps me out tremendously. And until next time, bye.